Welcome, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone joining. I'm Jason from Total Hotspurs, and I will be doing a takeover today of Tommy's channel, the Hotspur Hood. First of all, welcome back to Planet Spurs. We do this every week from around the world. Eugene, start with you. How are you, mate?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Thanks for having me on. Right. And of course, today we're going to take over Tommy's channel and let's mess it all up.
And on his debut from my own channel, from Total Hotspurs, Brad, how are you doing, mate?
Good boys, how you guys going? Keen to get on, and let's get talking.
Yeah, well, if people don't know, Tommy is moving this weekend, so he's graciously asked myself to host his channel, doing the usual that we usually do every week. Hopefully, he's back bringing his lovely beard and his bald head for you guys to see next week. So let's get straight into it, guys. The first order of business, and we'll start off with Elias in, Tanguy and Ndombele out. Now, and Ndombele looks like he's being linked to Turkey. Galatasaray and Fenerbahce have both been linked with him, but apparently that Galatasaray has put in a bid. I think it's £11 million. Eugene, what's your thoughts on this?
Ndombele going to Turkey. He's going to get a culture shock there. The fans over there ain't as nice as the fans in Spurs, right? If he doesn't buckle up, right, they're going to roast him alive. Literally. That's how I see it. But number one is that will Levy sell him for that price at £11 million? Will Galatasaray or Fenerbahce meet his wage demands, right? Because he's getting an easy 200k per week at Spurs. I mean, unless he's been told by Ange that he's not in Ange's plans and he's got to move. But for me, is that if he does leave, I don't care where he goes. I'll be happy because it's one of the kinks that we have to remove, right, to move forward with Ange. That's how I see it. So, adios. All right.
I mean, that's pretty much majority of the fan base, Brad. Most people want him gone. Most people think that no matter where he goes, he's just going to act the same as he always does. But I don't know. You seem to have in the past have given us different insights. So, what's your insight into Tanguy and Ndombele going to Turkey?
Look, this may ruffle some feathers here, but let him play under Ange. My opinion, I think Ange can bring out the best of him. Yeah, everyone's going to say, "Oh, shit, he's lazy," but he's had Mourinho, who also called Ali lazy, then sent him out. Mourinho probably not a good coach to be under because it was hard, and he was always parked the bus. And Ndombele wasn't; he was always attacking the ball. Look at Lo Celso coming out, probably one of our best midfielders now, and everyone thought he was shit a couple of seasons ago when he wasn't playing form or was getting injured too quick. I'd say give him a crack, keep him, and I reckon everyone will be surprised with that, because I think we can get Ndombele that we had before he came over. I reckon he'll tear people apart under Ange because now Ange is not making Hotspur, Harry Kane Spurs. He's making Tottenham Hotspur. He's making the team not revolve around Kane anymore. So these players are getting a chance to play and not just always be after Kane. This team's going to be about the whole team now. So I think, you know what, keep him and let him go on fire because I think he'll do good this year underneath us and Ange if he gets some time and a good manager behind him.
See, that's a surprising take on that because I don't think anybody can doubt his ability. It's more about his work ethic, and I don't understand. Like, I get your point, but will he ever turn up for a manager? Do you think?
He did it before. Where I forget where he was at before.
Leon.
That's it, Leon. Before he came to us. Did. Look at us when we first signed him. Look at the highlights there. He was unreal. Then what changed from this to the Prem? Okay, yeah, the Prem's a harder league to learn at the start coming in. It's a whole different ball game. But it was like he came in, he wasn't performing, and then it was like, all right, see you later.
So, Eugene, what's your take on that?
To tell the truth, right? I mean, we've seen him. He does have his capabilities and abilities and all that. But at the moment now, I think is that maybe a lot of fans have gone to the stage that the patience has ran out. after what he did in the game against what team was that? It was an FA Cup or League Cup that we were like chasing after, and he's not,
Oh,
you know.
Carabao, maybe.
no, it was a League Cup. It wasn't FA.
It was League, yeah, it was a League Cup. So I think that pissed off a lot of
Yeah, against Morecambe, wasn't it?
Morecambe, yeah. So he pissed off a lot of fans around that, right? Because he wasn't like interested in getting off the pitch quickly when we were 1-0 down,
Yeah,
right? So at the moment now, if you want to, I mean, this is the truth, right? If you want to put it that way, right? The whole squad deserves a chance on the edge, right? So are you going to give a chance to Dyer, Tanganga, Davis, and don't forget, Ange has come down and said that Davis is not a bad player, right? He works hard and blah, blah, blah. So then we'll be stuck with the 35 players that we still have, and we'll still be where we are. And by the time in the third month of the season, we'll see everything crumble, and then let's see what happens there. That's how I see it. But for Ndombele, he might turn up. He might be the difference in the midfield. But at the moment now, what I've seen during the two preseason games that we had, right? And especially we played them in halves, right? Not in the full squad, playing the one full game. And Ndombele wasn't even playing. So how are we going to judge it? At least Lo Celso was playing. At least we could judge Lo Celso, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I see.
100%.
Yeah. So let's see. Maybe he'll play on Sunday. Maybe we'll get a glimpse of him, and maybe we'll a lot of fans make a different change their mind on Ndombele, right? Because don't worry, Spurs fans like to flip flop a lot, so it's okay.
I think it's just a big attitude change needs to happen. And I think it can happen under Ange because AM seems to connect with players in a lot depth of length than other managers did. So I think that's one big key thing about Ange that could make players boom again.
Yeah, but the problem is that I always feel that with Spurs, the squad players, right? Whenever a new manager come in, to give it the 110%, right? After 3 months to 6 months, they all just go downwards. Yeah.
So where's Kane? It's been 2 games and he's been nowhere.
Yeah. Okay, no, because Kane's mind and heart ain't in Spurs now, right? Kane's mind and heart is somewhere else, whether it's in Bayern Munich, PSG, or in Saudi Arabia. I don't know, right? But at least he's come up with one good point. He said that, right? Until the Brentford game, if nothing is solved, he will stay. At least he's given it out there. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think the whole Kane drama is everyone's over it. I know I am.
I'm bored.
Everyone's bored of it. But before we carry on, I will highlight this message. Guys, make sure you are liking and subscribing to the Hotspur Hood. Tommy does some great stuff, solo and bringing us all in. So make sure you are smashing like and subscribing. And make sure you're heading over to Eugene's channel, Spursuation TV. And obviously to our channel at Total Spurs if you haven't already. But big up everyone that is in the chat. There is some regular guys that I have seen, and as well, Ryan, welcome. And what's the point's always on point. But my point on Ndombele, I think I want him gone. I think what Lo Celso has brought in the preseason, obviously it's preseason, but he seems to have gelled with the team a lot better than Ndombele has. And I just don't want to go out on a whim that he's going to turn up this season. I think he won't turn up. He didn't. He won a league last year, and he was benched the majority of the season. And he got one 90-minute game in their title-winning charge. So for me, he's not the player that we need. We need someone that's going to live and die for Ange's system because that's the type of player that he wants. But it is a good point to bring up because it's the main point of most of the people this transfer window have been talking about. If it's not Kane, it's Ndombele. If it's not Ndombele, it's the transfers. And I mean, I want to see him gone. I would snatch it. 11 mil to Turkey. See you later. Out the door. One less person we have to worry about. But we'll go back to that banner and talk about the second player. And it's a player that I wasn't very accustomed to, but came out of nowhere. And we've pretty much wrapped the deal up pending a medical. And it is Elias, young 19-year-old striker from I think it's Rosario Central, plays for the under-20s Argentinian squad. I know we don't like when players come out and big up younger players like with Buffon and Vicario, but Lionel Messi has said that he's one to watch for the future. Strong, quick, seems to be powerful. Great header on him. Highlights can make him look great. But I'll start with you, Brad. Do you think this is a good signing for Tottenham?
Oh, look, I haven't really heard of the player until he got brought up with Spurs that we're signing him. But looking at some of the stats, I think he could be someone that's can do well with the club. Like you said, he's quick. He's an up and coming player as well. So, look, you can't knock people if they come. And like I said, I haven't really researched him, but I think it's going to be a big signing if we can get him on the back foot, the front foot, sorry, and see what he can do. Because why not? He's young, and if Lionel Messi said he's going to be the key to watch, you don't go off his word. But I think, I think he can do well underneath us.
Eugene, how do you feel about Villas coming in and possibly to be a backup striker to Kane if he stays?
To tell the truth, right? Villas, 19-year-old, 15 million pounds plus something or whatever, right? We've seen a lot of players like that. I mean, we've had Jack Clark, we have Troy Parrott, right? We get them young. And then the sad part is that if we do really give him a chance to play in the first team, then maybe we'll see something coming out of it. If we don't, then it'll be just another striker that's been put one side, and because of Kane being there, right? Our reliance on Kane, he might not even get a chance to be on the pitch. So I wouldn't mind seeing him because I've been hearing rave reviews of people watching the under 21 World Cup that recently was it European Cup? World Cup recently.
World Cup, I think, yeah.
Under 21 World Cup that recently passed, and he got rave reviews, right? So, 19 years old. I've seen a lot of 19-year-old players come to Spurs, Sessegnon, right? And like I was saying, Jack Clark and Parrott, and of course the players that we have ourselves at the moment, like Dane Scarlett and all that, will all get pushed down the pecking order, right? But of course, Jack Clark's moved to Sunderland, if I'm not mistaken, right? So
doing well there as well.
Yeah, he's doing quite well there. Yeah. So the thing is that coming in at that kind of price, it's another Levy buy, right? One for the future. If he does a bit well, we can sell him for a bit more money and reap the profits from it. Or will he be integral part of our squad in the future? We do not know yet. Like what Brad is saying, can't knock the player down when we haven't actually seen him play, right? The only thing is that we can just put a hope on it, and if he turns out good, then it'll be good for us. If it doesn't turn out good, then we'll just say the same old Spurs again, right?
Yeah,
that's what you
Spurs way.
Look, I completely agree with what you both say. I don't know much about him either. I didn't even know we were linked with him until we pretty much signed him. It is taking a medical, so unless he fails,
Jason, and you're telling me he's taking a medical already?
Yeah.
The new
I think we've already agreed terms. I think he's next
but
couple of days.
But I hear he's not coming to Spurs straight away. He's being loaned back to the parent club until January or something like that, right? So
well, that's what I thought, but I'm hearing different rumors. One is that we're just paying a fee and he's coming in. There's another one where they want him back for 6 months and then he'll come to us after those 6 months.
I mean, being a 19-year-old, right? He should need more games under his belt. So putting him back to Rosario, and if he's playing constantly there, that'll be good. Unless you tell me Ange have said that, okay, I've given up on Kane and Kane is going to leave and I need this guy in, right? At least, not even being a backup striker to Kane, he could be the backup striker to Son or Richie. Yeah. So, and then he's young, right? And if Richarlison doesn't perform or Son, doesn't reach the heights that he's supposed to reach, then they'll have somebody else to lean on. So I guess it'll be a good one. But like I said, in the end, it's all up to Ange, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I think. I think he's. I think the loan will go back if Kane stays and Richie is the backup striker. But if Kane does go, I think he'll come in as the full-time backup to Richarlison, which I'm not opposed to. Right? I think we have this stigma about young players, especially in the Premier League, that they're too young. It's. I like the idea of if they're good enough, they're old enough. And if he comes in and they think he's good enough to start, then just start him. If Kane goes, obviously, if Kane's still here, Kane's going to start. I don't think it's all. It's a good buy. For me, it's a good buy for the future. Big raves. We do need a big lad. He's, as What's the Point has pointed out, he's 6'2". He looks strong. Looks good in the air. Looks good. He looks quite pacey as well for a big player. So that's something that we haven't had apart from Kane. And Kane really isn't the pacey kind of guy. Where this guy seems to have a bit of pace about him. So look, it's an under the radar buy. It's like the Vicario deal out of nowhere. No one knew it was coming. Just like the Basuma deal last year, it could pay off. But I agree with you as well. I think he does need a bit more time if he's not coming in to be back up straight away or to get game time. I would like to see him stay at Rosario Central and just play a 6 months there, leading the line, because he is starting over there, so he is quite highly rated there. But
yeah, sorry. His medical's in the next couple of days. I just read up the next coming days his medical's set for.
So at least personal terms has been settled. The fees among the clubs have been agreed upon. So I guess, but don't forget, until he's signed on the dotted line and holding up the shirt, still a bit.
Well, it's a bit up and down. I think it's been over a month now. We haven't signed a player, and the last buy was, I think, the 24th of June, which was Solomon, which is horrible.
On a free transfer.
On a free, so it's not even a it wasn't even a purchase. It was just, and I think is Shakhtar still going to the tribunal about that? That they owe money, or is that still?
I don't know, because there's a bit unfair kind of a clause going on between FIFA and Shakhtar. They're arguing that that they deserve a bit of money because of the transfer, but somehow not FIFA, because of what's happening in the Ukraine, they just let all the players run away. So it depends, right? If the courts goes into against Donetsk, that means most of all the players that ran away from the Ukraine when the war started, right, will not be compensated. But if Shakhtar wins, then there'll be a lot of money asked for. But maybe you never know. We will, that's why we're having a game with Shakhtar Donetsk on Sunday. Levy might sit down with the owner. We'll just have a chat about it, right? And we'll settle it in a Levy kind of way.
Yeah, he'll talk for 4 years and then do something about it.
Yeah. Well, I want to touch on that game against Shakhtar. So I want to bring up something now, and it's going to cover our faces, and I'll try and move it away. I think Tommy.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'll leave it in the middle. So this is their last 4 results. You can't see the last one there down the bottom. They've lost every game preseason. It looks like.
5-0.
I know
but Jason, at least they've played 4 games, right?
I know we only played 2.
1.5 games.
Yeah. Well, so are you confident going into that Shakhtar game, Brad? The way with the lack of defenders that we seem to, and we will touch on VDV a little bit later, but that Shakhtar game coming up this Sunday, how are you feeling about it?
We should have squeezed another game in between this. I feel like 2 games, and what we're going to have 3 or 4 games before. 3 games before the season starts.
4.
That's 4. That's not enough.
You've got Barcelona after.
That's right. Yeah, sorry. You're good. Yes, I thought we had Barcelona. Yeah, but nah, I'm not happy with that. We should have squeezed in a game. Once that game got rained out, we should have squeezed another one in. Rebooked Leicester. Like even this midweek at home, if they were back in London, book him in, because
that's true.
I'm not liking what I'm seeing at the moment. That's for sure. The second half team, who's shouldn't be as good as the first half team, are just blitzing them, and we've got nothing in the first half. It's just we need more games. No one's gelling at the moment.
That's true.
So,
what you say is correct, right? We should have squeezed in one more game before this Sunday's game. We should have played a game on Wednesday. It could have been Millwall or Leyton Orient, some little team somewhere. But the thing is that there's no money there, bros. Right?
Yeah,
there's no money. We ain't doing it. Or maybe we did do it and we are not aware of it. The club, Ange could have held a kind of game with some other,
behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors
and all that. We weren't aware of it. But to tell the truth, as we all know, Levy will not let us know that happened, because he can't market it, right? Spurs play, don't forget, right? You got Spurs play that you have to, attract the money to come in. But to tell the truth, right? What to tell the truth, like I was saying, we played 1.5 games, right? Before this game coming up, right? We traveled 12,000 miles around the world just to play the games that we played, right? Of course, I'm not complaining, because the team went to Australia, where you guys are. They came to Southeast Asia, where I am at. at, right? Thailand, Singapore, right? I'm squeezed in the middle, and I'm always figuring out why they never come to Malaysia. Why always Singapore and Thailand?
Yeah.
Why does Daniel Levy hate Malaysia? That's my question. Oh yeah. You know why? Our currency ain't big enough. But I can't think about it. Right? The Thai currency is smaller than our currency. Then why are you doing? What are you doing over there? Right. So, but
it's
yeah.
Thailand.
But, no.
Thailand's always.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Thailand's got other things more attractive than Malaysia.
That's why Levy went. He wanted to get wanted to try the local cuisine.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and
look,
nostalgia and all that. No, but the Shakhtar game coming up, Shakhtar has played 4 games. We have played 1.5 games. I guess their match fitness will be a bit higher than us, but will we be able to play a team for the full 90 minutes and take it like a serious football game where we will have 5 subs instead of, one half, one whole different team, the other half, a whole different team? That's the thing that's going to scare me the most because, guys, I think today's the 4th. We are playing our first game 9 days time or so, right? In 9 days, we're playing Brentford. That's scary, right?
Yeah,
well, that's what I'm worried about. I want to treat
Mm-hmm.
these next 2 games like they are league games because we've had. Let's just put it this way: in the 2 games, everyone's had pretty much 1 game, so everyone's only had 1 game in total for match fitness.
Mm.
No one's had a full. No one did more than 45 minutes for both games. So we've only had 1 preseason game for every player, and we play Shakhtar this weekend on Sunday, and then we play Barcelona 2 days later, and then next weekend we're playing Brentford away in the opening in the opening game of the season. So for me, I feel like we need to play the team that Ange wants to maybe put out on the first game of the season for both games, and then if he has to tweak it in the Barcelona game, then tweak it. But we have to treat it like it's a game. It's a Premier League game because we're going to go into Brentford and they're going to be locked down. I know they may lose Raya, but they're gonna know what they've played. Plenty of games. I think they were in that. Were they in that American Cup as well? It's like 6 England teams.
They were. They played in the States, right?
Yeah,
there was some cup going on. And guys, and when you go through those teams that big up, right? Where you go through those teams were actually in the States playing. They played like against each other, like Newcastle against Aston Villa, against you're talking about Manchester United against, and then Chelsea against Brighton against, you're playing against the level of really different levels, right? What we've played against is West Ham away, about 6,000. I mean, over here in Asia, right? And then we go and play Lions City Sailors, right? So that was a bit of a letdown or whatever you can say, right? But the thing is that coming back, I think Ange is getting frustrated. Have you not? Didn't you hear that he canceled a press conference?
Yeah, because he's sick of hearing the Kane questions. Because that's all he gets. All
it
is now is a Kane show.
Yeah, but in the end, that's why he's getting frustrated too, right? Not enough games, Kane's questions all the time, right? So, and let's hope, right? I don't know. Let's see how that goes. But the Shakhtar game, I don't know. It's supposed to be a charity game. It's our first home game of the coming season, right? I guess the atmosphere should be fun there, right? And like what Jason you're saying, right? We really need to see that first 11, right? Because in the 2 games that we saw in the friendlies, right? We when we saw our first 11, that we thought that's going to be our first 11 playing, right? In the first half, that first 11 didn't show up.
Nope.
Yeah. So, and that's the scary thing, right? Imagine if that first 11 played against Brentford and didn't show up. Oh God, we're gonna get smacked. And don't forget, we're playing away at Brentford, right?
Yeah.
And we lost last season at Brentford too, if I'm not mistaken.
Most teams lost last season at Brentford.
Last season we lost at Brentford 2-0 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
that's what Brad said. Brad said that we're gonna get smashed if we don't play our first team, and
we need to play the boys at least 60, 70 minutes. The first team, both games.
Brad, but the sad part is we don't even know who is our first team at the moment.
Well, that's the point. You look like the first team, and the first team shit in the first half, and you look at the second half team of Richie, Solomon, Celso, and they
Yeah.
Would you?
And that defense scare me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll touch on because there is a bit of news about the defense that's just popped up in the last hour, like properly confirmed by Romano. But
Again.
again,
Yeah.
I mean, this time it looks like it's pretty much because you did it before, and then you got us all happy, and then a month later he's saying the same thing.
And that's 1 month ago, right?
Yeah. So, but what you touched on, Brad, right, and this is what we pointed out in our watch-alongs as well, and our live streams and our videos after is the second team played a lot better than the first. So, I think Ange will combine them. I think Lo Celso will probably jump in to the first team, and it will probably replace, the Højbjerg
has to.
skip player, and it will be Lo Celso, Madison, and Basuma. I think that'll be the midfield three. He goes, if not Barcelona, Shakhtar. And while I'm still chatting, I will bring in Mr. Elias.
Hello, guys.
How are you, Elias?
Big up, right? But Jason, that's the scary part is, right? What's going to happen to our defense, right? We can concede against a club called Lion City Sailors.
Yeah.
Imagine that. We conceded against a club called Lion City Sailors while we were having that high line in defense, right? So, and that was the mistake. You can say whether it's Sanchez's mistake, whether it's Davis's mistake, right? We know that our players can't go. We don't have that players with that speed to go back and cover. And against Brentford, we're gonna get caught out if Brentford sits back. Like what happened with West Ham? They sat back, absorb. We had 30 shots on goal. They had 4 shots on goal. They scored 3. We scored 2. That's the scary part.
No, you're literally completely right. I honestly, our defense is poor. And Elias, welcome again. Welcome in. I know you had to come in a bit late, but
yeah, sorry, that's with you.
That's okay, mate. I don't think you met my brother. That's my brother Brad.
Good to meet you.
Good brother, you too.
But the Shakhtar game, as usual. Sorry.
Oh, this is an NRL team, Para.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
rugby league, yeah.
Rugby league,
league team.
Is it called Australian football or is it rugby league?
No, Australian football is AFL, and this is NRL rugby league.
Rugby league, yeah. Rugby league, rugby union, Aussie rules, which is AFL. That's kind of like the Irish game that they have over in Ireland. But Shakhtar on Sunday. Eugene has pointed out our defense is poor, regardless of who's sitting forward. Obviously, you probably share the same views, right? Because I think we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we should, instead of just solving the central back issues, there are a lot of other issues as well that we should have looked into. For example, the likes of the right back. I don't think anybody is at the moment right back. Left back, maybe I'm kind of confident in maybe Udoji and Reguilon. I think those two guys are good and they suit that particular role. Reguilon can do the job. He has done that before, even with Nuno, and while Mourinho was around, he can play that left back role and he plays it well decently. Like he can attack, he can make the recovery runs as well, quite okay. But the right side, I'm not that confident. Like you have Pedro Porro, who is more of a attacking player. Like a lot of people say that yes, he should be playing in the right wing instead of the instead of the right back spot, right wing back spot. Like that's the common narrative that's going around, that Pedro Porro should be on the right wing instead of Kulusevski. Although I disagree with that one as well. I don't think Pedro Porro is suitable for the right wing position either. Not at least in Ant's system. But on the other hand, I feel that he is not the right guy for the right back position as well. If you were to ask me actually who would be my preference in that spot, actually I would play someone like Jet Spence maybe. I think at least he's a natural right back. He can play that spot instead of others, and he is good as a dribbler as well. He can make the ball forward. It's just that it took him time to understand the wingback position when Conte was around. But I would play Jet Spence. Like I would give him some minutes. I would have given him some minutes even in the preseason games to see like how is he in Ange's system. But I guess right now Ange is also under the pressure that we paid quite a bit of an amount for Pedro Porro, so we have to utilize that money. And that's why he is starting in that right back position. If Pedro Porro can improve a little bit on his defense, I don't think he's a bad option either. But it's a tough one, seriously, guys. Like I don't like Emerson. I don't like him in that spot. I'll be honest.
Well, I'm going to combat you on that because he was probably our best defender last season at the back end. And if you're not going to play
Listen,
Porro and
Elias, yeah,
Listen,
to tell you the truth-
no.
Elias, to tell you the truth, right? If you're gonna play the right back as a pure right defensive right back, right? I think Emerson will be the perfect choice, right? Because he
But
can
that's
at least defend. But at least he can
That's
defend. If you put
plays-
Porro or Udoji there, who's not tested, or Jet Spence, right? They can go forward, but they can't defend. That's the scary
no,
part.
Jet
But
Spence can defend, Eugene. I don't think he's
no,
a bad.
I haven't seen him defend in the Premier League yet. Have you seen him? Right? He hasn't even played how many minutes? He hasn't even had 10 or 20 minutes Premier League experience, right? He's been loaned out, right? So, but what I'm saying is that at the moment, with the defense that we have, right, it doesn't give us confidence at all. Because with Romero there and being the hothead he's been showing he is, right? And actually, I tell you, maybe he's frustrated that he's being in that kind of position. He might cause a lot of red cards coming in for us, right? But he will more or less, okay, how will you put it? The two in the middle will be either Dyer, Sanchez, right, with Romero, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
No, I think it's going to be Romero with whoever. Like it's going to be either Ben Davies or then now the rumors is that Langley is coming back. So with the current one, I would go with Romero and Davies. If you ask me personally, actually, I even wouldn't mind Romero and Rodon there. I wouldn't mind even that one. Like Rodon, from what I've seen when he plays for Wales, and he can actually defend better than the rest of the crap that we have in form of Dyer, Sanchez, Davies, and all that. I think Rodon is decent in that role as well. Like I wouldn't mind playing him there. But again, we all know that this defense is not good enough. The problem with all of them is they can do one job well. Like Rodon, he can defend maybe well, but he is not the kind of defender who suits Ange Postecoglou's system. Like in recovery runs and all, he would struggle then. But by the way, for the Emerson Royal one, I don't know why people think that he was decent towards the last half of the season. If you look at the last half
Because he
of the
was.
season, he wasn't. Jason, you go and look at the games where he was decent. Those games were against the lower half teams.
Okay, I'll say that. Okay, then why was everybody else shit and he was good? If we're playing against shit teams, you can only play what's ahead of you, right? He was top 3 in the last back end of the season and he improved massively. And I'm not saying he was the best player in the league or the best right back. What I'm saying is as opposed to the rest of the team, he was the top 3 players. And you can sit there and say, "Oh, he played against, we played against Brentford, and he was great, but we played against Chelsea, and he was horrible." You can say that, but every other player you can say that for as well.
No, I mean,
there's games where top players
if you're
turn
making the
up.
comparison of the defenders we have, right? I'm on your side too. I think that as a defensive player, Emerson is much better than in his position than what we have. What we had last season.
100%.
But whenever he passed that halfway line, right, you can throw it out the door.
Yeah.
You can say. So the only thing is that are we going to keep Emerson that doesn't go forward? Will that be the Ange ball, which we know ain't the Ange ball? You know what I'm saying?
No.
Ange will usually have either both or the fullbacks go up and attack. So
no, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, hold on, Eugene. In Ange ball, what the fullbacks do is they actually come in front of center backs. Like they come from the side in front of the midfield. They play a bit more of a defensive midfield role in order to form that 3 in front of the center backs. It becomes almost like when you're on attack, or even when you're holding.
It becomes 3 in the back. Yeah.
2, 3, 2, 1, 3, something like that. They come in front of you. Like you have 2 center backs in behind, and then the 2 fullbacks will come in front of the center backs. I don't think Emerson can do that job. And neither.
That's what I'm saying, Elias. Emerson can't do that forward job.
Mm-hmm.
He can do the back job, right? Tackling people, hit the ball away, blah blah blah, right? But he can't be the one to carry the ball forward, right? Past the halfway line, put in a decent pass or pass it decently to another person to bring it forward. That's the part that I don't have confidence in him unless somehow or another Ange transforms him miraculously, right? In this summertime, and he becomes slightly better or a lot better, and being able to actually do what Ange wants, right? So, but at the moment now, whether he cares too much, right. But the thing is that our defense, we all know we have a problem. But of course, now the rumors of that we're going to bring in, I'm sure Jason is going to go to the next topic. You were saying what?
Yeah, well, that's the thing is Mickey Van der Ven might actually be coming in. So this whole talk about the defense being poor could be improved in the next couple of days. I know Romano did announce it a month ago, but he's now said that he's waiting on a medical and it's pretty much been agreed. But I think the fee is like £43 million, so it's a lot more than what we actually wanted. But I think the pressure of Ange realizing that we can't play the defenders that we played, even Romero was suspect in the preseason. But I think that's more about who he was with. I think you give Romero a good center pairing. I think he could be a lot better. But yeah, I think we'll go into it. Van der Ven is pretty much nearing conclusion to Spurs. And we can all agree here that he's the player that we actually, he's one of a couple of players that we actually need. But do you think he slots straight in? Or do you think, as some people have pointed out, that Dyer, Eugene, I'll ask you first, do you think Dyer will start the first game of the season, or do you think Van der Ven will get a shout?
Oh, to tell the truth, right? You're talking about the first game of the season. If we're going to bring in Van der Ven, he's going to come in when, right? If the deal gets settled by end of this week, Sunday, he'll fly in, get his medical done. He won't even have like 6 or 7 days to know his teammates, right? And how is he going to gel with Romero? We don't even know whether he'll gel with Romero, right? And then the sad part is that personalities, we don't know what kind of personality he has, right? And whether he will be assimilated into the squad as one of the players that is going to be pivotal to our defense. So Dyer will start. Yeah, that's all I say.
Yeah.
Unless he's injured, Dyer will start, right? Which we've been saying. Yeah, which we've been saying, right? From last season end until now, we need to get rid of Dyer, Tanganga, Davis, and all that, blah blah blah. And now we're gonna start the season in 10 days time or 9 days time or so. We're still seeing the same back line that we have. So yeah, congratulations. Welcome to Tottenham Hotspur, right? Where we all suffer all the time. Yeah. Big up.
Yeah. I think to add on to your point, you can't forget that we have to travel to Spain as well for the Barca, that pre-season friendly, that cup that we have against Barca as well. So that's going to come into play as well. Then you have the Shakhtar game. So even if this medical gets done on Sunday, I don't think he'll start for the Brentford game. I know Meta Football TV is saying that Van der Ven will have to start playing ASAP, can't spend 43 million on a bench. Is not what we are saying, by the way, Meta Football. He is saying that he won't start the first game because of the time it will take for him to now gel with the rest of the squad. We are not saying that you bench him. We are just saying that we don't see him starting the first game. But maybe, Eugene, the other possibility is if, let's say, he comes in and then you see like him getting a few minutes for the Barca game, like if that deal gets done before that, and he has a decent game there against Barca, then probably there's a chance that yes, he might start in the starting lineup.
I don't think he'll start. How can he start? He can't be taking Dyer's spot unless say Dyer's injured. And even if Dyer's injured, there's still Sanchez is still there, right? If Sanchez is injured, then you say there's still Ben Davis there, right? To me, it's that guys, you can't bring in a guy, right? 1 week before the season starts and put him straight into the team playing starting because to tell the truth, he might not. You remember, he still had to get past the Ange test, right? Whether he's going to be Ange's player, right? But does he have Ange mentality, right, to play Ange ball and all that? So how is he going to start? I don't think he's going to start. But you say maybe along the line in the second half, he might come on as a substitute.
Eugene and wanted him last season at Celtic as well. There were a lot of rumors, and I think the deal went through because they couldn't.
No, I mean, even if Ange wanted him, right? Ange must still have to put him on the ground, make him run, make him see whether he understands what Ange is playing. Because he's not. He unless you say that he's played at Celtic with Ange before, then he can come in and slot in straight away because he knows Ange ball. That's what I'm trying to say, right? But
I'll lead with this question. Audio has put up a question, and he says, if Dyer starts and is our best defender until December, do you renew his contract? So, Elias, if Dyer comes in, we get VDV, but Dyer's on fire. He plays the first 6 months up until January like he's the best defender in the league, like he did under Conte. he didn't really, but we all made it out like he did. Do you renew his contract or do you let him go on a free?
No, just a simple no.
That's
Okay,
it.
guys.
No
Guys,
context.
guys.
Well,
Yeah.
so I
Eugene?
think you understand Dyer. If let's say, how much can he improve? How much can he give to this team? For like he has left in his leg. Like let's say if he has like some good games, what even that can offer? Like I don't see him. Like why would you give him a new contract when constantly this guy over the years he just has a good spell and then after a while he always fails. Then secondly, he's not the kind of a defender who can make tackles. He's not even a proper defender. So if you tell me, like let's just say if it was the case with Romero, like yes, Romero has been poor for us for a season, and then suddenly Romero kind of a defender, he becomes better. He's making proper tackles and winning balls cleanly, that sort of thing. Then yes, maybe I'll say that okay, I'll extend Romero's contract. But Dyer, he's not even a proper defender. Like, why would I want to renew his contract? I know he's better than Sanchez, but still, no.
Sanchez suits Ange's
guys.
system better though.
Guys, Dyer has already renewed his contract. The club just haven't told you yet.
You know what? I have that fear. I have that fear. They're just waiting. They're just waiting.
Feeling. Yeah, no, I got because
Eugene,
remember
Eugene,
this.
like,
Hold on. This renewal of the Dyer contract, right, was 3 months ago, before the end of the last season. Remember? Then the whole fan base went crazy. Everyone was saying, "How the hell can you give him a renewal contract? Right? Look what has done. We've conceded 63 goals. He's already signed it, but they've not announced it." Guys,
God help me if he has done it though. Oh my God.
To tell you the truth, guys, come on, look at this, right? We all know Dyer can't play that defensive role for us, right? I'm sure the club knows that if Dyer signs an extension on his contract, the whole fan base is going to go crazy because somehow or another, Ben Davis slipped through, right? He got a 3-year extension. Ben Davis, he slipped through, right? And now Dyer is going to get his, and we are going to go crazy. Simple as that. So how and the truth, right? He's got 1 more year in his contract, correct? If it goes down to January, right, we are more or less saying we're letting him go on a free, right? But the question is that who wants him? That's my question, right?
Sunday League.
Who wants him?
They won't take him. He can't defend. The first tackle he made I've ever seen him make was last game against Lion City, and that's like League 2 opposition, and he only made 1 tackle, and we still conceded a goal. I think you're right, Eugene. I think his contract's already renewed. I think they're just waiting. They just don't want the backlash.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't understand. This club is full of shills, full of like extremely stupid people. Like I don't know what kind of people are in this club running it. They made the Eric Dyer documentary. When I saw that documentary, I was like, man,
You
could
watched
have
it?
done that. Yeah, I watched it, by the way.
Oh, mate.
Oh, you got skill play?
Yeah, you're lining Levy's pockets, mate. You're Levy out and you're lining his pockets. What are you
I
doing?
subscribed to first play last season, by the way, when I was not Levy out. Let me make it clear. It was just like 1 week remaining. I think I made it clear last time as well when I was on this show.
Okay.
I did subscribe to Spurs Play last season, and this season I canceled it. Yeah. So it's just that because it's a year-long membership, so I had to watch it. Yeah.
Well, you had to. You at least make it worth your money, right? Yeah. No, at least make it worth your money, right? Yeah, we are Asians, right? We pay for it. We have to watch it.
Yeah,
I still had it, and I didn't watch it. I let it run out. I cancelled it. I had it from last season. I let it run out. No, not watching it. I'm not watching it.
I don't give a single cent to the club. I don't give a shit.
Yes.
Hey, big up Ingwa. Yeah, that's why I said they even made a documentary for Dyer on Spurs Play. So the only thing that Dyer can't say is that, guys, I actually signed the contract, right? But I can't tell you.
You know, in that documentary, the main thing that they emphasize on the guy can take free kicks. That's all. That's the only thing that his coaches say, and that's the only thing. Like when they interview his previous coaches and all that, they say that okay, the guy can take free kicks, do this, do that, and all that. But now we don't need him. I think James Madison can take free kicks. Pedro Porro can take free kicks. You have Son who can take free kicks. So you don't need Eric Dyer. So just get rid of him. For a while he was taking better free kicks than Harry Kane, maybe to a certain extent. Yes, I agree with that. But other than that, that guy offers nothing.
Oh my God! If Joe Louis keeps Dyer to defend him in court, right? Jolo is going to jail. He can't
Yeah.
defend.
But that's why. Look, send him. Let him defend him in court, and Jolo
Yeah,
can
he's
get banged
gonna
up, and
jail.
hopefully we get somebody in.
Let Jolis buy him from Spurs and put him on his legal team.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? We all want to see Joe Lewis go down. Can you do it for Levy as well and Enoch and get them all out? Or
someone
look,
another
at
airplane
the end of the day, we can't get rid of every single player. We still have many players that are in the squad that do need to be sent on their way. Dye will be one of the last of them, and the reason why I think that is because he's part of the captain group, the leaders of
leadership committee, players committee kind of thing.
yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's why it's taking Lloris so long, obviously, because Lloris is at the past it as well. But he was left at home and he still hasn't found a club. I think Dyer was going to be the last defender to go, even though he should have been the first. It should have been a statement. And I do think Ange is hands tied until he got centre-backs. I think if we got Tapsoba and Van der Ven when we were linked with him a month ago, I do think Dyer, if they hadn't signed, like you said, Eugene, if they hadn't given him a contract already, then he would have been gone. I don't think Ange rates him at all. I think Sanchez is the only defender, and maybe Tanganga at a stretch would have been the only two that he would have kept. Rodon turns like a bus. It's taken too long. And I always said if we're going to bring in any defender,
no, don't be surprised, right? Lloris might start in the Shakhtar game.
You're not wrong, because Vicario hasn't really shown much, and Forster's still injured, and Austin. I don't know. Austin. Yeah. I mean, we're still a shambles. We're still a shambles.
I mean, he's still here. You get what I'm saying? Why isn't he gone off to Inter Milan or Saudi Arabia or something already by then, right? So he's still here. So don't be surprised, right? For in that day, Ange might say, "Come back in," right? Yeah. So that's how I see it, right? Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah. But the thing is that with this type of scenario that we are in now, right? I understand the club can't get rid of 8 players in one season. Oh, sorry, one transfer window.
You can. Right? Chelsea did it.
We're not Chelsea, Jason. Don't forget,
true.
Right?
I'm just saying it is possible.
It is possible. Anything is possible, but not for Spurs, right? You know, we've never actually seen. Have you in your life in my history? I've been a 40 years Spurs fan. I've not seen us do a clear out before in one transfer window. We will clear out, right? 3, 4, max 5. Right, at one transfer window, then the next transfer window 3, 4, max 5. Then in the end of the day you get accumulation, but not one shot like what Chelsea is doing. But don't forget, but Chelsea clears out 7, they bring in 5, right?
Yeah.
If we clear out 7, we bring in 2, right? But now we've already brought in 3, okay? Got rid of 1, okay? And we are looking at maybe another 2 more coming in. So will we be able to get rid of another 2 to cover that whatever? And don't forget the homegrown quota will be there. Blah blah blah. But the thing is that we ain't going to be in Europe. Will there be enough games for the whole squad of 30 over players? I don't think so. So worst come to worst, whatever players that Ange don't want will be pushed down to the under 23s. That's all.
Well, I thought what annoys me is there was talks of if we can't sell them, we'll rip up their contracts. For me, if we were a big club and we wanted to push forward and we didn't really. It's not going to happen, though, because Levy cares about money too much. But I would be saying September 1st, whatever players that Inge doesn't want that are running out their contracts, get rid of it. Rip the contracts up. Do what they did. Do what they did to Doherty. They ripped his contract up to send him out.
Doherty was an admin error. That's why they had to rip out his contract, right? Because the deal was already sealed and he was going to A Madrid and blah, blah, blah. So they had to rip up his contract. But the problem is that unless they come out and do something like what Danny Rose did, you must also remember, players who don't talk against the club, right, will always be good, will always be kept. You know, remember what Danny Rose did? Danny Rose said that we will bring in players that we have to Google, right? And he said a couple more things which upset Levy. The next thing you know, Danny Rose is playing with the under 21s, not even under 23s, right? Then the next thing you see that Danny Rose put on gardening leave. Oh, they're going to rip up his contract, blah, blah, blah. He never touched the first team again.
Yeah.
You know, so unless the players do that, then the contract will be ripped up. Unless there's some admin error again, you know, due to our fantastically well-run admin, right, of our club, then they'll rip up contracts. But I don't think any of our contracts will be ripped up at the moment, right? You know, you rip up a contract, you have to pay the player, and Daniel Levy can't get a single cent back on his investment. Nah, that doesn't happen for Spurs, bro. You should know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, guys, apparently Aleo Velis and Mickey Van de Ven, they are both gonna have the medical before the Shakhtar game.
Yep.
Okay, all right, fair.
Yeah. So the thing is, I wouldn't mind. I'd chuck him straight in. I'd Van de Ven. As I think he played a friendly the other day for Wolfsburg. So there was clips that because he got turned inside out and then he recovered the ball. But I would start them. But yeah, look, Eugene, you're completely right. Unless they talk, and well, maybe you need to get into their ears, Eugene. Maybe you need to hit up your contacts in London and start getting Davies and Dyer and Sanchez to start talking shit about Levy, and hopefully he kicks them out.
Yeah,
Because
we
that's
need,
what's
we,
going
we
to
need,
take.
we need them to join the Levy out procession, but nah, they won't. They're all leaving in us.
Well, I'm going to bring some breaking news. Sammy had put it up quickly, but Daryl has given us the exclusive news. Bayern Munich have submitted a new offer for more than 100 million euros, with bonus payments included. They expect an answer within the hours. What do you take on that?
Not
Kane's
enough.
going.
Not enough.
Not enough
But, okay, it's 100 million euros or pounds?
Euros.
euros. We
So I
want
Not enough.
think the end of the day it'll add up to about 100 million pounds, including add-ons. That's how I see it. But what I
Yeah.
see is that I think big up. I don't know whether it's Stel or
It's one of them, but they're completely right what they're saying though.
Yeah.
When we
No,
had
the
someone
thing
that
is-
was actually a backbone in the club that didn't listen to Levy and actually had the balls to do what needed to be done. That's why Poch was so successful in the first few seasons.
Yeah. But the thing is that at least Bayern is giving the last offer, and whether Levy accepts it or not, then more or less you'll have clarity by this Sunday, right? Whether Kane is going to stay, whether Kane is going to go. But guys, don't forget, right? Kane says that if it's not solved by the Brentford game, we will never know. Maybe another team will come in. PSG might step in, right? Then you'll know what the amount is actually needed by Levy. Because you're talking about 100 million euros plus add-ons. That means I think it will come up to about 100 million pounds.
Yeah.
Maybe
25 mil short.
Yeah, maybe Levy wants 100 million pounds with add-ons. So we never know. Right? But don't be surprised, right? PSG might do a swap loan for Kane goes to PSG and we get Mbappe loan for 1 year. You never know.
Yeah, well, I
By the
mean,
way, I'm going to Spurs because he prefers to play as wide forward. He doesn't like playing as a striker.
who's that?
Doesn't
Sorry,
matter.
Elias?
Mbappe. It doesn't
Mbappe.
matter. It doesn't
He
matter
doesn't-
where he plays, right? He can play. He can play in defense if Mbappe comes. For what I
Well,
care.
Mbappe here, the issue with PSG and Mbappe for a long time was he wanted Giroud to join him or either a striker to join PSG, a proper number 9 like what Giroud is or something like that, like how he plays in France. But PSG signed neither, and that's why he also wanted to go to Real Madrid because Real Madrid had Benzema, so he can play as a wide forward. He doesn't like playing in the number 9 role.
Yeah, it's
I
still
mean,
pick up.
Yeah, it is still big up still.
Yeah,
And he said Kane's gone, no way, stays at Spurs. Levy won't accept £0 with Kane walking on a free. I agree. I don't think Kane's going to walk on a free. To be honest, would you take it? Like as Engward has said, do you think that Levy will accept it, or do you think he'll just make Kane stay? I think he'd be an idiot to not jump at it, considering that we'll lose Kane for free at the end of the season. And like you said at the start of the stream, Eugene, he'll probably go to United or to Chelsea, and then we'll be regretting it next season.
Yeah. No, but I think what Levy will do, right? Since now the last offer has been put up by Bayern, Levy will stall. He'll stall until maybe the Thursday or Friday coming, just before the Brentford game. Then he'll say, "Okay, I'll take it," because no one else has come in for him. He'll take it. Right?
Well, Stel said it right here. He's forced
PSG.
Levy's hand.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he'll stall. He's forced Levy's hand, so he'll stall.
Yeah.
Right? And it's very simple. We all know Levy what he wants. He just wants more money. Correct? So if it's more money, then he'll go.
Yeah, by the way, if Kane goes, would that be our record sellout fee? Would it be, or
Yeah.
wasn't? How much did we
Yeah,
get
they're our
for?
record.
I don't think
Bale
was it 100
Bale
euro.
was
I don't think it was
100
100 mil pounds, was he? I think it was euros.
There was 87 million pounds.
Yeah.
But that was in
And
those days. If you want to count the inflation, blah blah blah, bring it up to now money, it still won't be. But You want to talk about the actual figure? Of course, it'll be higher than what we sold Bale for.
Oh, apparently, somebody in the chat is saying that Gareth Bale is more surprising.
Yeah, because I'm pretty
mean, you
sure
can't buy
the
inflation.
100 mil players when we bought Chadley Erickson and all those, Lamella, I'm pretty sure it equated to about 100
Eriksson.
mil, but I don't think the full amount. I'm not 100% sure if it's 87 million pounds or 100 million pounds.
Euros, 100.8 million euros, which is about 85 million pounds.
Yeah, so
Back
we
then.
obviously want more, but
At that time.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I know everyone can sit there and say Levy's pushing it, but if Declan Rice can go for 100 mil, surely Kane can go for the same amount minimum.
I had this discussion with on one of the other channels as well. I think I was talking to Chris the other day. This one is a slightly different because Declan Rice had an option to extend his contract. He had a option of 1 year extension in his contract. Kane doesn't have that. So Kane is in his last year as well. So that's what makes it a bit tricky.
And don't forget how old is Declan Rice, right? So
yes, how old is
yeah,
Rice?
I mean, age does. But when you're talking about one of the best strikers in the world at the moment, I mean, it's not a fair shout. But 1 year left on his contract, I think. You know,
no, I mean,
if
Levy opened up Kane's market last season, right, when he had 2 years in his contract, right, and asked for 120 million pounds, and somebody came in and gave him the money, adios, farewell, right? But Levy didn't do that. He dragged it until his last year. And you know, when you reach your last year of contract, that is where all the drama starts, right? If he stays, if he goes, right? If he doesn't go, if he comes up to the January transfer window, he can go anywhere he wants. Because once he stays and doesn't extend his contract, he can go wherever he wants.
Yeah.
Right? Simple
and
as that.
he'll go to Chelsea or United just to spite Levy as well. And he'll win the league with him. And then,
And the worst part is that if he really want to spite more of us, right, he'll go to Arsenal. Think about
they were I've heard some channels talking about going in for Kane. He won't go there. He won't because he knows it'll be.
I know he won't go there, but imagine if that happened, right? Are we going to blame Kane or are we going to blame Levy because of it?
I think Levy would have to leave London in a jet because I think people would storm his house. They would lose it if they sold him to let him go to Arsenal.
Yeah.
If Kane goes to Arsenal, my goodness, the scene. But I can see him going to Chelsea if Poch would be still there.
I don't know. I think he's going to United or City, one of the two, and he won't go to City because they have Haaland. So I think he'll go United. They need someone up top. That's just my opinion. I don't think he'll go to Chelsea either.
You never know what happens next year, right? Where if all of a sudden Haaland says that, okay, I already done the treble here. I'm off to Real Madrid. Bye-bye.
Well, he has said that. I think he has like a 3-year clause where Real Madrid can come in at a lower price than everybody else. I don't know. I mean, it's all up in the air at the moment, but like I said before, I'm sick of talking about Kane, and this is why I like how Ange has come in and said it's not the Harry Kane show. It's the Tottenham. It's Tottenham. We want to be a team. We don't want to be relying on Kane, and that's why I think his press conference was cancelled because he's sick of hearing about Kane. And someone did point out earlier on in the show that maybe they are going to do an announcement of Kane, and they were waiting to see what the result was with the meeting with the Bayern Munich. Team because they might be announcing that he's being sold.
Maybe. All right. To tell the truth, if we find out earlier, the better. Right. At least being us fans, we have some closure on this drama, right? And if it's still been dragged on like that, like I said, I've been bored of this Kane drama since day one because I saw this coming when he wasn't sold during the MCT time, when MCT went and bought Grealish, right? And he wasn't put up for sale last season when Conte came in, or when under Nuno and all that. It was under Nuno, yeah. When Conte was having his 1 more year, right? Sorry, when Conte took us to fourth and we started that season, right? So we have to ensue this drama because it's all created by the club. Simple as that. So one thing is good that the club gives us good content to make. That's all.
I mean, that we're all vibing off this Kane content, but it gets to a point where you just get sick of talking about it. I'm sick of hearing about it.
Yeah.
If you all notice, I haven't done it in the last 3 weeks because I'm just so sick of this topic.
Yeah,
I haven't done it. I haven't done shows in the last 1 month. I just came and did some show. I haven't even talked about Kane.
You did a show like 2-3 days ago.
Yeah, but I don't care. We didn't even talk much about Kane, right? So because I don't care because it's boring, right? If he stays, he stays. If he goes, he goes, right? But the only thing is that I would love to see the drama, like I was saying, right? If he stays and he goes to Chelsea, Manchester United, or Arsenal, let's see what happens. I'd like to see that drama.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll get into the last segment before we wrap things up, because I do have to get up in about 5 hours for work. Unfortunately, it is 11 o'clock at night for me here in Australia. But if we sign this young Valise striker and then we get in Van de Ven this week, do we see ourselves buying any more players? Disregard the Kane sale. If we don't sell Kane, do you think we get any more players in for the transfer window, or do you think we're just going to go with what we have and we'll be stuck with Dyer, Davies, Sanchez, the likes of these players?
To tell the truth, right? My biggest worry at the moment now, but to tell the truth, if we do bring in Valise and Van de Ven, right, I still hope for one more defender. Okay, maybe we could get someone from the Premier League, right? And I'm quite pissed off at one thing, how the hell, right? Was it Chelsea? Chelsea got Sanchez, right, for 25 million pounds, right? And we were like bitching over Raya for 40 million pounds. Why did we just go in and get Sanchez for 25 million pounds? Right? And then there's
I
another
think
one.
he's just as good as Raya too. I think Sanchez is a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, so that's why it's being a bit weird now. Okay, but it doesn't matter because we're in August now, right? We're gonna have at least another 27 days before the actual window closes, right? If we get in Van de Ven and Valise in, it's a good addition. My question is that who are we going to get rid of in the next 27 days? Are we going to get rid of Dyer, Tanganga, Højbjerg? Don't forget, Højbjerg is linked to A Madrid, guys, right? Are we going to get,
Atletico Madrid, I think.
Sorry, yeah, A Madrid.
Yeah, A Madrid,
yeah.
A Madrid.
Højbjerg is linked to A Madrid, right? So are we going to be able to get rid of most of the players that we need to get rid of and to actually give this squad facelift of younger players, right? Because we are holding on to a lot of old players at the moment, right? A lot of players are already reaching their 30s, right? Already in their 30s. So as I see it, my hope is that one more mature defender, centre back coming in, right? If you get rid of Højbjerg, maybe a 6 coming in, a holding midfielder for us to play with, right? And then get rid of whatever deadwood that we need to get rid of. Maybe sell Tanguy to Fenerbahce or Galatasaray. There are a few more people like Rodon, right? And the sad part is that we can't even move Sessegnon out because of injury. We can't even move Hill. Hill just had his operation. So,
I don't think Hill is going. I think Hill will stay.
Yeah.
I think
Hill will stay. So, and maybe by January or so, or maybe before January starts, Hill comes back. And don't forget, we still got Bentancur. Bentancur is coming back, right?
That's how I see by the way, the transfer window is open until like middle of September, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope, 1st of September.
No, 1st of September.
11 p.m. That's when the transfer window closes. Yeah.
I mean, still plenty of time, but still got time for the clear outs at
least. Yeah.
We've already had over nearly 2 months.
Jason, remember? 1st of June, there was plenty of time. Right now, it's already August, you still have plenty of time. Yeah, welcome to
No, what I'm saying is, if you want to get players, I think, yes, it's a less time. Yeah, but I think if you want to, if you want to clear players out, I really don't care, like, where do they go? Like, you can just clear them out wherever you want to dump them. Yeah, just clear them. I don't even care how much we get for Tanguy. I don't even care how much we get for players like Sanchez. Just as long as you get, like, £1 million, £2 million, just sell them. Seriously.
Elias, you don't care, but there's one man that does. And he
has the final
say. The most important bald man in our club.
I don't even care how much he gets for Kane. I don't care a single thing about how much pennies he earns, because I know that that's not going back into my club. I don't care if he gets 90 million for Kane, if he gets 100 million Kane, and I don't even care even if Kane goes out on a free. I've been saying that I would rather Kane stay one more season. I can have a good season with Kane, then he goes on a free, then putting money in Levy's pocket just to have this fan base turn against him. I would rather prefer that.
Well, I think the thing for me is I want Kane to go for as much as possible, right? The reason why I want this to happen is because I think that may be the trigger for everyone to completely flip and attack Levy, right? If you lose your golden boy, your top goal scorer, Tottenham through and through, and you get 100 mil and you don't see any signings after that, I think everyone's going for the juggler on Levy. That's what I want to happen. I want us to sell Kane, not buy any other players, and then hopefully everyone turns on him. I know you're shaking your head, Eugene. You're probably right. It's probably not going to happen because this has happened in the past. However, if it's going to happen, it has to be happening on Kane. If any other player does it, it won't happen, but it has to happen on Kane. If we sell Kane and do not get reinforcements either in the striker role, because I don't think Richie's up to it, or in the defense to add on to VDV if he comes in, then I think everyone needs to get on, go even further past the Levy out, Enoch out movement, especially with all this Joe Lewis stuff going on. We need it needs to happen. I'm happy to pay for a flight to come over and protest if I have to.
Fair, but whatever happens will happen, right?
Yeah.
In the day, whether Kane stays or go, to tell the truth, like we've been saying, bored of it, right? But what I'm saying is that we've already got potential replacements for Kane. Elias is coming in. Richie is already there, right? And we spent not small money on Richie, right? We spent 50 million pounds, right? Which could become up to 60 million pounds if Richie performs well. He could be the replacement for Kane, right? That's what the foresight of our club has. But the thing is, whether our fan base will go, woohoo, if we don't sell Kane, he leaves on a free, goes to Arsenal, goes to whatever he wants to go, right? I don't know, right? Our fan base has always been meh all the time. So let's see what happens there. I would love it if our fan base turns on our owners and start protesting and start throwing chairs and rioting on the streets, burning the stadium down. No, don't burn the stadium down, please.
Burn it,
right?
burn it.
Right. Show their discontent, right? But we know what we really know what we know, right? So
yeah,
I don't know. So it is. So, but there always be things like, okay, like what Chris Loney is saying, right? Like Sonny will step in and cover for Kane, right? He's done it before. It's not saying he hasn't done it, right?
and he's played well when he's done it too.
Yeah, and to tell the truth, I think if Kane leaves, right, I think Son will be our number 9.
He should be our number 9.
Yeah, will be our number 9. Not even what you call Richie. Yeah, because at least Son is a proven goal scorer, right? Right. So that's how I see it. But
it would be interesting to see, Eugene, actually, like what would come out of it. Because the kind of signings we have made, I don't think Levy has, not to say Levy, I don't think Ange has Sonny in his mind as a number 9. The kind of signings that he's making, and the fact that Levy bought Richarlison last season and all that, it looks like Richarlison would be your number 9. Yeah, sorry guys, trying not to turn on fan base so much. I've been told not to mud people, but yeah, this kind of comments get it out of me. But seriously, I'm just sick of this fan base. The kind of people who are going about saying that, yeah, forget it. I'm not going to go in there.
Nah, don't go there. But what I'm saying is that, right, you're telling me that, okay, if Kane leaves, right, Son and Richie can actually switch places, right? Richie can play on the left wing, Son can go in the center. Richie can play in the center, Son can go back in the left wing. They can interchange, right? The only thing is that we have a certain thing, maybe who is going to take the right side? Will it be Decky, right?
I think Porro at the moment is more effective on the right.
Or Porro, right?
Yeah, but Jason, when was the last time we saw Porro play there? That's another thing I want to ask.
Yeah, look, I understand it, right? Porro hasn't started there. However, Decky isn't the same at the moment. I don't know what's going on with him. And the way that we play, he cuts in way too much. He has no right foot. I feel like he's there to provide width as well. I do think that Porro will get a chance out there, and I think he'll play well. He has an eye for a pass, doesn't mind taking it on. The only thing he does is he likes to take pot shots all the time, which annoys me because he can't shoot. But I do think he'll challenge it. I think he'll get moved to right wing. He's not a right back. He will get torn apart there. I think that's what Ange will do.
Yeah. Then
that's just my opinion. I might be wrong, but that's just my opinion. I think Porro will go out there. You're right, though. We haven't seen him as starting as a right wing, but I think he could do it.
But you put him a right wing, right? That means that will leave a hole back at the right back. So then who will take up the right back position? That comes in another question, right?
Nine back Kyle Walker, I was saying on one of the channels. Kyle Walker, the deal didn't
Right
go
back
through.
is Reggie a right back or a left back?
He's a left back, but he can play as right as well.
So yeah,
He can play both.
Why not? Because on the left side we have a few already, right? We already got. My God, we got so many left backs.
We got Udoji, we got Davis, we got Reggie, we got Sessignon, we got Perisic.
Perisic is left wing. He won't play. Perisic will play on that left side this year. He won't be playing left back at all. And I will add, he looked quite good at the left wing. He looked comfortable. I think if we lose Kane, I think it'll be Perisic, Son, and Kulu, whoever on the right. I don't think you'll have Richie starting. I think Perisic will.
Okay.
Oh, that's just. I think that's the smartest thing. He played there for Croatia in the World Cup, scored in their quarterfinal to get them semi-final to get them into the final. I think he's much better on the left-hand side. And I used to want Perisic to go, but I kind of want him to stay because I feel like we need an older head who has won things to stay with this squad with Ange. I feel like Ange is going to need, especially with Kane going, he's going to need someone that's quite senior in the squad, considering that we're in the mid-20s at the moment. Not a young team, but, middle-aged team. Yeah, and Sean's come in and saying Reggie playing Sean, right back. I've personally never seen Reggie play right back. I don't know if you guys have, so that's why I was a bit confused.
He has played in one of the games. Like you can invert him as
well.
A
very long time ago, right? One game, I think it was.
He's a left back, but even then, he's.
But that means we have a big open gap on our right side, right, to play right back. So the only person left back to play right back will be Emerson.
He's the only one that can decently play it.
Oh dear!
You can't trust Spence.
Right back. The game, it was under Conte. It was like one of those games. A right back or right back got sent down, and then Reggie went on the other side, and then Sessignon was playing on the left. I need to see which game was it.
Yeah, sometime.
You must have got photographic memory because I don't
right
remember
back, I guess. Yeah, he was just
He started as a right back. It was like he was shifted there, but it was a decent game. Even when he played there, I remember he got quite a lot of praise.
That's all right. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll play.
I'm not saying that we should play Reggie as a left back. I just say that he can play on both sides, and he plays decent.
Royal played left back.
No, that's what I'm just trying to say. I'm trying to figure out who else can play at right back at the moment.
No one.
Think about it, guys.
Oh, the only other person would be Tanganga, but I don't want to see Tanganga there.
Romero can play right back.
Why are we lacking? Why do we have so many left backs then?
I don't know.
Well, Davies is better at a left centre back. So he was brought in as a left back, and then when he used to play left centre back for Wales, when we transitioned to a 3 at the back, he was the natural one to fall on that left hand side. Reggie was brought in to replace Rose and didn't really cut it. Sessignon was meant to be the next best thing, didn't cut it, and Udoji was then obviously bought as a future up and coming for that left hand side. And then I don't rate Perisic as a left back. He's a left wing. He's always been a left wing. Just Conte played him as a left wing back. But we have no one on the right. For me, like Royal has been decent. I'm not saying he's the person that should be starting every game. I just think he's our best right back that we have at the club. So he should start. That's just I don't think Spence has an attitude problem from what everyone's saying. So he has had no game time at all. So I don't think I'm happy to have him have a chance if Ange thinks he's good enough. But I don't. We haven't seen anything from him. And then the only other right back is Porro, and we actually have no other right back apart from Porro.
That's true. Or maybe
I need to correct myself. It was not Reggie who played as a right back. It was Sessignon who played on the right side. It was
Sess did it this year as well when he switched Perisic. He switched Sess onto the right when we're struggling in games to play an inverted wing back.
Yeah, but that means So that means we can't play Reggie on the right. So we only got Spence, Emerson, Porro. Where Spence we do not know much about because we haven't seen him play in the Premier League, right? Whether he can defend properly. That means we have got an option of Emerson who can't go forward but can defend, and Porro who can go forward but can't defend.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm kind of mad when we sold Matt Doherty. Matt Doherty was better right back compared to Emerson. or even he was a better right wing back or right back, either way he was fine. Like I don't know that admin error whatsoever. That was a horrible. Like I was surprised why we sold him instead of Emerson. He was a better player.
No, I think the thing is that I think it was because of the admin error. I don't think we intendedly wanted to sell or tear up the contract for Matt Doherty, right? The error was made, the deal was made with A Madrid, and you know, I think somewhere somehow some money has crossed past hands and all that. So that's what they had to do. It is what it is. You can't change it
Yeah.
anymore. And don't worry, we'll still see Matt Doherty right now play for Wolves again.
Yeah, you know what? He'll probably be the best right back in the Buddy League this season. He'll go back to where he's
Yeah,
comfortable and tear it up
yeah,
with all the Portuguese
yeah,
players there. But look, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap it up.
yeah.
It's nearly midnight and I've got work in the morning. But before we go, make sure you're liking the channel, guys. It's Tommy's channel, the Hotspur Hood. Make sure
Yeah.
you're liking and subscribing. And I have chucked in the chat the links to my own channel, Eugene's channel, Spurs Asian TV, and Elias's channel, Step Up Spurs. Make sure you go over there and go and subscribe to their channel too. But Elias, anything up in the next couple of weeks before the season starts? Anything coming
Yeah,
up?
I just got a lot of stuff going on. Just busy with some life things and all that. Yeah, but I'm planning to start streaming soon with some FPL content and some usual transfer gossips and all that. I'm planning to start my shows and then my fan shows as well. It's taking me a while to start it again after that break that I took, but yeah, I'll be back shortly at Step Up Spurs. Let's see. In the meantime, you all can always find me at some of the shows at Tottenham Away. I think I'll be there with Will this week at the THFC Ranch show on Sunday night, which will be your Monday morning and Monday morning for Eugene as well. But other than that, I think
Maybe
I'll
Monday morning for you too. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
morning
it's
for me
Monday
as
morning
well.
for me.
Yeah, Monday morning for all of us, right?
I think it's
Monday
11
morning for all.
p.m. Sunday night for me here, so it
Yeah.
might be late Sunday for you guys.
Oh no, the ranch show usually will be in the afternoons for you, Jason.
Oh
Because
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
No,
uh,
no. I
it's
think it'll be
morning
around
unless it's 8
yeah,
to 10 o'clock
around
a.m.
9 a.m.
Yeah.
Australian time. It's
Okay,
at
yeah.
7
So I got my times mixed up. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
Usually it's about
Um,
8 o'clock our time, 10 o'clock our time. So it'll be about
No,
10, 12 o'clock your time. Yeah.
usually Will does it at 7 a.m. our time, so that's 9 a.m. His time.
Yeah, it
Eugene,
depends.
what do you got coming up, mate?
Most probably I'll be doing the transfer news, transfer window show or something next week, either Monday or Tuesday. Hopefully by then the Kane saga will be gone, and we'll most probably get Van der Veen through and Alejo Valise through, and then we have something to talk about. But usually I do shows like that. I'll be doing with a lot of other club fans, right, from Newcastle, from Arsenal, from Liverpool, from Chelsea, right. I try hardly to not do so many shows with Spurs fans unless I go on other people's shows. Unless I do DV out shows, then it'll be all Spurs fans. Right, that's the only time we were moaned and grown about Levy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, for me, the usual. Probably doing a live stream tomorrow night, just on general chat on my own channel. We'll be doing probably a live watch along for the game, for the preseason game against Shakhtar on a Sunday night, 11 p.m. Antonios, I'm not 100% sure how you can watch it down under, but I will quickly look that up for you and see if it's on. I was watching the others on Paramount Plus, so that's where I found those. And apart from that, it'll be the usual, but we'll be kicking off our watch-alongs when the season starts next week. So it's just the usual for me: videos, shorts, and maybe a live tomorrow night, last live before we actually start doing our live watch-alongs. But guys, thank you very much for joining. Eugene, Elias, again. Brad did have to go. He messaged me his youngest daughter. She's about 14 months old. She was losing it, so he had to go. But he said that he appreciates coming on and meeting you guys. So guys, like I said, make sure you are going to Eugene's channel and Elias's channel, subscribing over there. And if you like what I'm saying today, come over to my channel and make sure you're subbing to Tommy as well, because he does a great job here on the Hotspur Hood, and I had the privilege of hosting on his show. So we're going to head off, guys. Take it easy. And as we always say here at Total Hotspurs, is stay Spursy.
And as always, Levy out.
Leave you out.